All right, so let's take a look at some markets. See what the heck is going on. Oh shit. Spring. Anyway, all right, let's just take a look at the markets. All right. So basically, the market went to this level here on the SPY, and it bounced. But I want to take a look at the behavior. See if there's any opportunities right now. This bounce, by the way, if you take a look at the smaller time frame, you have far more insight. On the larger time frame, all it shows is a test of the spring. That's your spring, that's your test. As you know, you have a spring and a rally. That means this low is pretty strong. And then typically, if you test it, there's some pressure that comes in. So springs that have rally, that means they found something. They found some demand there. And demand is so strong that after making a lower low, it makes a higher high. So imagine you have a lower low, right? And then you make a higher high afterwards. So there's something at that low. Anyway, let's move on to the YM. Same thing. Yeah, I'm not sure how strong, this thing's going to continue, because take a look at this pressure over here. Like, you see this? There's a lot of, this is the breakout, the breakdown. 34 times 10,000, so 340,000 contracts. They tried to go up, failed, and now it's right in that area. So not really sure how this is going to play out. Because yeah, I don't think so. I mean, you only had like 80. There was 8 times 10,000, 80,000 plus 60,000 versus this 34,000 breakdown. So I don't at least come back down one more time. Over here, you're in spring position. So when it went to spring position, it penetrated significantly, but demand did come in. I mean, let's get rid of all of this shit. 1 second, let me get rid of all this. And just put the volume so you can see how much volume came in. Not it, not it, that's it. So you see over here, 1 second, let me fix this. Anyway, I can't fix it, but at least not now. But here's the thing on this, I mean, I don't like this spring. Clearly, I don't like it, but there's no question there's demand over here. 107,000 contracts in this wave on the 15-minute, and they're going up. So, I mean, this is pure demand here. You had a shakeout, climax, whatever. Look at all this. So, I mean, typically when it has all this, plus that, like I said, lower low followed by a higher high. It's not easy to make a higher high after a lower low. So there's probably some accumulation in the background and then bang, right up there. Anyway, you can see that big blue volume. You see, sticking out like a sore thumb. Probably gonna take out all of this. I'd expect it to take this out. Because all this down move. Anyway, let's see what the hell's it. Probably gonna test. I'll check the pressure later, but I mean, buying is there, no question. But on the Renko, it seems like it would get stuck in this brick. and we'll see. But as of right now, this looks legit, meaning in terms of you have an uptrend, you had the pullback, it tested about halfway, and buying came in. Boom. So that's normal behavior in terms of pullbacks and accumulation on the pullback or demand on the pullback. Anyway, let's move on to Nasdaq, see what's that doing. Again, not liking this type of structure, but you know, it tests. Oh shit. That volume today's volume is the biggest up volume in 100 fucking bars on the Nasdaq. Very important. Someone's doing something, and you can clearly see that same thing happening again, which is what? Cause. Then the spring, then the higher high. See that? Bang. So this is very, very bullish. Now, I don't know how far it's gonna go, but this type of in my opinion, I'm not an advisor or anything, but this is 308,000 contracts taking out all of this accumulation. So I mean this is someone needs to do a target on this, because that's enough for it to go all the way up to resistance easily, with probabilistically, I should say. Anyway, so RTY, same shit. See that? This right here is clean in terms of taking stops and shaking out and all of that. So this is very good, very, very good. All right, let's move to crude. Crude is creating something over here. It's testing the weekly high. You know, getting into that vicinity of the weekly high. A lot of price volume action over here. Is it climactic? We're going to find out. See that? All that big blue. See, this is blue, then volume tips off, and then bang, all of that juice right in there. We'll see if the thrust is shortened and selling comes in. Right now, though, this leg is let me see the Renko, see what I can decipher there. I don't know why I create all these. Anyway, nothing. Just that there was high volume here, pressure, follow through. There was effort here. I can't really see anything. Move into RBOB. There's effort taken higher. No, cannot detect anything. I'm surprised that Nat Gas looks like it's in bad shape. It looked like it was bad shape. All it did was test and then fly back some more. Here, let's see, what is it trying to do? Ooh, that's the break. That bar is the break. That's the area right there. Okay, so for Nat Gas, what happened is you had volume off the bottom right here. That basically stopped the down move. Right there. It's the biggest volume in 100 bricks. Made cause, higher high, test. So that's what's going on. Basically, they stopped the downtrend. Right here, you see green, green, big green. The biggest in 100 bricks. That stopped the downtrend. Now breaking to the upside. Anyway, let's move on to the next market. Gold. All right, so this market I'd explained before already. What was real? Shit, went to Target too. Exactly. Anyway, so I explained that what was going on here was you had your cause, you had your spring grabbing all the stops, forcing the reversal. Basically, shorts have to cover, adding more buying pressure. And as they're selling, someone else is buying it all up. You have cause, spring, change of behavior, shit in the middle, and a rally all the way up here. Now here's going to get interesting because there's a lot of volume here. So when that happens, I have to be a little careful because it can be climactic, and typically they fall back. So gotta watch out for gold at this point. Let's see what it's showing on the Renko. 14, 11, 8, 5. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna take out this high or not, but that green is bullish right here. Green, pressure, aggression, coming off of a spring. Typically, when it comes off of a spring and pressure comes in, it'll at least test resistance. If not break through it, at least test it. So you need to know where, if it's where those points are. Like right now, it's testing resistance, obviously, right? It's from a spring to a test of the former high. Da, da, da. It's a very nice move. You want to take a look at silver and platinum. They might tip you off prior to the break. What the hell? Well, case in point. Oh, this is palladium. Can't tell anything. Let's take a look at copper. I don't know what I was doing here, but probably measuring something. Because of this spring. See this? See the higher high with a breakout? Test, fly. Anyway, I'm not going to touch this. See Bitcoin. Yeah. This is a weird market. Like, this is definitely not a good sign. I thought it might support these lows here. See this? It could bounce. It could bounce here. I don't see it. Well, there it is. I just don't like such a deep pullback and a trend change like this, breaking and breaking. So, I mean, it's in bounce. It's obvious, right? Like right here, biggest volume and price in 49 waves has followed through. Obviously, it's going higher, right? So see how much of a bounce this thing has, and maybe it tests the breakdown and then continues lower. See right here, big price volume. Obviously, it's going to go up, right? How obvious? Again, I explained so many times here. We got your box, right? What happens after the box? Spring. What happens after the spring? Higher high. Now explain to me, why is it the market is making a higher high after a lower low with a box in the background? Because it's accumulation, a shakeout, and then sign of strength, because the shakeout here is ending the accumulation phase. And you see this a lot. And the more modern words are all liquidity engineering, liquidity grab, break of structure, but it's literally cause, spring, sign of strength, or whatever, change of behavior. Then higher high confirmation, and pullback typically comes about halfway, a little bit more than that. Anyway, so that's what happened in Bitcoin. Now let's move on to other markets. Versus Canadian dollar. It's getting interesting. I want to see how this thing reacts, because if it can hold the low, it would be meaningful. If it can't, this thing is in upthrust position. It's in upthrust position. So if the bears are there, they need to break this down, break it now. If they don't break it now, it can leave the range, creating a new range. So bears need to, and we'll see if they show their strength. I don't really see here. More bullshit. Let's just take a look at the grains. Nothing. Soybean. Nothing. More nothing. I think soybean meal is getting ready to spring. When it does that, like shortens the thrust, loses momentum, come back to test. So, this other market is very interesting, but I think it's gone now. Wheat, like it was in spring position right here, and it was on spring position on weekly. Now you know what happens when you have a spring position on weekly in an uptrend. Is devastating. Moves are because you're targeting not the daily high, but the weekly high. So that's why this spring position is very worthwhile, because if it springs and reverses on the daily, weekly, it can target the weekly high. So that's a very substantial move because your risk is on the 15-minute, but your reward is on the weekly. So can you imagine the R multiple? So anyway, and the same thing I explained, makes the box, right? Then you have that shakeout. Now this shakeout is very little puny shakeout. The other one's like dig deep, but this one here, it's a minor one, and it rallies and rallies again. So, and I think it's going to pull back. You know why? There's stops under this entire area. Here, here, here. The grind, the volume has decreased substantially. The stops here, volume has decreased. Untested area. So we'll see if it pulls back some. What did I do here? Nothing yet. All right. So long story short, you want to really watch the indices because of the, I don't know what the shit this is. This type of, it's clear on the NQ. On the NQ, it's very clear. This, at least follow along and look for this, this cause, spring, and then that, and then fly away. All right. All right. Thank you. Bye.